We haven't done one of those together in a while.
What do you mean? Podcast?
Yeah, 4 of us haven't done this since August, maybe even before that.
No, I think before.
It's before that.
Before August, right? Yeah, because we've done.
You did a couple without me.
But then a couple of the Dolphy wasn't here. So last time we talked, remember we couldn't have fact check there on the U.S. Open? Let's start with that. So we were talking numbers, and I looked it up, and because we said it, if this is actually, I want you to check that, Dolphy, in a second. This guy that works with U.S. Open, he's got this travel agency. He told me they sold 950,000. It was 950,000 people through the gates, right? So I looked it up. So that's what I said. That's how many people came through the gates in 3 weeks because they counted the first week. But still, it was 800,000 people, 799,000 and change, going over 2 weeks of paid sessions.
At an average of about what ticket? What are they going for?
So when we talk about Murphy was saying those 75 is like I think the 73 for the first few. That's 70,000 a day. That's a lot of people, man. So 800,000 people, and what that guy said that now that became the biggest sporting event in the world with those numbers. So that's where I want you to look that up to see like what. That's big numbers, man. 800,000 paying. Or 950,000 to the gates over 3 weeks.
Well, it also runs for longer than.
Yeah.
It's
different than like a single day event, but it's still a big sporting event.
Yeah.
So is that bigger than like the Olympics? Do you pay to go into the Olympics?
To watch?
Yeah.
I would assume.
I'm asking.
Tickets, yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Same like World Cup and stuff.
So that's got to be bigger than the Olympics.
Yeah, but is it bigger than World Cup? I don't know.
World Cup.
Well, World Cup,
biggest,
like
right?
every single.
Yeah, but the difference with the World Cup is it's always in different. Like
this
can be 5 different stadiums over a continent
this
or
is a
whatever,
single
or
event.
over a country.
Single event
Or
in
it
one
can just
place.
be held in, where was it just held?
Qatar.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, but even in Qatar,
there was different venues.
You still, that whole area, though. I mean, honestly, how many
Seriously,
people
dude?
were.
Edit.
Well, dude, no, I'm just saying. That's not like going to New York City, dude. Probably a great area, great people, but you gonna go? Are you gonna go to? Are you gonna go there?
Keep backpedaling, bro.
Are you gonna go there to? Are you gonna go there to watch an event? Honestly, think about it.
No.
Honestly,
But you know,
I mean,
they-
you could go to a million other places. I'm not. Dude, that is an unsettled part of the world. Dude. The people
No,
from there
that's
are
not
fine.
unsettled. Did you say?
Yeah.
unsettled.
No. I don't mean unsettled like they don't have homes.
Oh, no, I was gonna say.
I know.
I would think it's
How
the
about
exact
unrest?
opposite.
You guys are
Unrest.
I'm just simply saying it's like, dude, I don't know. It
Well,
doesn't
we started
seem,
this one really good. I
it
love
doesn't
it.
seem that safe.
Do you know they banned beer there right before the World Cup started?
And Budweiser was heat off about
I
it.
thought it's always banned there. I thought you can't
they were
drink
going
there.
They were going back and forth
Yeah.
if you can drink or not, and they were trying to get people.
I thought
in,
for
and people
there
bought
though
the
they were
tickets.
having designated
Areas, right?
areas where you could drink in, and then not only that, there was like I thought I read an article saying that if you were drinking, there was like a pen that you went. There was like a sobering up pen that they didn't They didn't even want to release. Like you had to like once you were done actually drinking, there was like this other area that you would go to sober up so that people weren't getting in trouble. That's what I mean, dude. How much fun?
Yeah,
is that?
not a lot of fun. Not a lot of fun. But there was.
I think they have a pen at for the U.S. Open sobering people up.
Rowdy crowd at the U.S. Open.
Yeah,
for
dude.
sure.
Well, we talked
That's
last time.
amazing.
2 other players were talking about smelling people smoking grass.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
While they were playing.
Yeah.
In the U.S. Open.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
A lot
yeah.
of
In
the
the
players
back alleys
a lot of
there,
the
yeah.
players were commenting on like while they were playing, it's like all they
smell
could
it.
smell.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
That's got to be. I mean,
You think
that's more so in the last few years as it's just become more
I
acceptable.
mean, I've seen it 10 years ago. I've seen it 12 years ago. I don't think that's new. I really don't think that's new.
in like Arthur Ashe?
No.
No, like in the back alleys that are going.
Like
yeah.
where people are smoking cigarettes and stuff, they're going to
like-
yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Especially with that being, I'm not sure if it's legal now in New York. I assume it is.
I don't think technically, but
Oh, it's not? I don't know. Whatever. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
I
it's
think when I was-
decriminalized, but I don't know if it's...
When I was there last summer, they had
trucks.
trucks.
But
Like,
I
used to
still
go
don't
sell
think
weed
it's...
trucks. I was that guy. I mean,
Well, I guess it is legal then.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
yeah, it had huge pot leaves painted. It was painted on it. It wasn't like like it was on. I mean, it's got to be legal if you're having. How are you operating a van out in the open?
No,
just
I know.
parked, you know.
I saw those too when I went last year, but for some reason I think New York still... I think it's just you can do whatever you want in New York City, and that's...
Right.
Yeah.
like that's the least of the police problems in New York City. But I'm not sure. We could look that up pretty easily.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think there's something to look after, but now they will if people talked. So yeah, 950,000 people at US Open,
It's a lot of people.
800 for the 2 weeks. Because we talked about the big ticket in town there is the first week now, the pre-week, the qualifiers week. That's the week to go to because it's free to get in. You see all the players training. You see good matches with qualifiers. So I also we were talking prize money. And
Is there junior stuff going on then too?
Juniors start later. They start in the second week or close to the second week
Okay.
of the Grand Slam because they only go for 1 week. So if you are making it to the main draw, you get $81,500. So that's big money now.
That's a nice little paycheck.
Yeah, you win one round, 123,000, 191. If you get to the third round, not win it, but get to the third round.
Just get into it.
Just get into it, yeah. And then you go to the round of 16, 284. So that's some big money. Yeah, quarters, man.
Round of 16, I'd take the rest of the year off.
Yes.
I could live off that. 200. Although I guess they're probably paying a lot of.
Yeah, there's a lot of expenses.
Yeah, they
there.
have coach, whatever.
And then we talked about it before. I think that you get double taxed. I think you get taxed in a country that you win the money in, and you get taxed in your country of residence.
What about New York
Yes,
tax too?
you do.
So I don't know. Yeah, but you
State
get to
tax
pay.
probably too.
Well, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, whatever the taxes are like in the country that you and then your. That's what when we talked about the Monaco.
Correct.
And those guys go there so they don't have to pay.
Right.
So they just have a residence there. and
Is that
don't-
still a thing? Is that
That's
Oh,
still
yeah.
a thing. Yeah.
that's why everyone? That's where they're all based out of.
Yeah, everyone is there because they have property taxes, but not. Remember we talked about it. We looked it up that they don't allow residents to
Go to the casinos.
casinos. Yeah, that's. I was editing that part not too long ago.
Well, same thing with Florida.
Yeah, we're chatting
A
about
lot
that.
of athletes, golfers, tennis players. That's where they reside.
Yeah, because there's no
Texas, yeah.
There's no state income tax.
there's no yeah. So look at the numbers that I thought said both men's to 28,000 and women's championships 28,143 sessions were the highest attended championship sessions in U.S. Open history. So 28,000 they sold for Arthur Ashe.
That can hold 28,000 people.
I don't know. I thought it was like less than that, but
No, it's pretty.
that's what this says. 28,000.
It's pretty big. That thing's gotten steep.
That's massive. But I wanted to look at it because we were chatting last time and we didn't have the right numbers there. But that's because when we were saying that's what I was saying that when we were going 10, 15 years ago, the daily attendance was in the 40,000, 45,000. Now it's almost double, man.
Yeah,
it's
it's crazy.
75,000. Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah,
It says Arthur Ashe holds 23,700.
So
they must let people in to watch the site. I mean, there's still stuff
Oh,
going on there.
maybe they watch
Maybe
it.
the doubles final is on Louis Armstrong or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right, so they have
That's
an
what I thought. It was
excess,
23,000. Here it
Yeah.
says 28. They sold 28,800 tickets.
It's a lot of people.
The whole process of daily operations there, it's got to be insane. Can you look it up? Like because we looked it up last time. Like, what's US Open making? What do they made this year? That's got to be like. I know we looked that up a while ago, and but it's got to be like $500 million.
I don't know that, including everything, ticket sales,
Everything,
and
everything, yeah.
concessions.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I haven't been there long. I mean, what's a beer?
Well,
or a mixed drink?
We were talking.
Mixed drink is in the
$28.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just like Harbor Lights.
Right.
Right.
It says
Right.
the U.S. Open taking place in New York, tennis, $65 million.
No, that's prize money.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Remember those honeydews?
Oh, distribute 20. Yeah.
We used to go and we'd have 10.
Yeah.
10 during
They
the day.
$28
They were
a
like
piece.
28.
It's
20
$28 a piece. There's no way I would be spending $280 in the day. We'd spend $100 because they were $10 a
What
piece.
is that, a drink?
Yeah, those popular
Okay,
honeydew
but
drinks.
so that's what?
Everybody's
A
drinking
few
them.
years ago. It's
They're-
more
10 years ago.
Right.
10 years ago is probably the last time
Yeah.
we were there together.
Yeah. It's a lot, man. They're making a lot of money. But
So they made $150 million in ticket revenue only.
Just ticket revenue.
yeah, imagine just everything.
The
else.
concessions could even be more.
Oh, easy.
Sure.
Because the way the profit margin on concessions is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
that's
selling chicken tenders for $30.
Correct.
yeah. You're like, is it 30 or 3?
Yeah.
Because I can get it for 3.
Yeah. Right across the
No
street.
kidding.
And they get it.
They do.
They get it.
Everybody's ready.
'Cause
So
once you're
you know,
inside, you're,
I mean,
you're,
look,
you're,
it's
you're strapped.
but that's yeah. So 8%
Yeah, I mean,
more.
it's like
than,
anything else. If you were ever going in there with like your significant other and you want to go with your 2 kids, you're like,
got to be ready
holy
to spend
moly. Right.
at least $500
More. Yeah.
for a day of tennis.
All right, boys. So here's
And then you're watching it
Yeah.
straight down.
yeah.
TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're better off.
Yeah.
Or now, I'm sure, I know they're doing it for Wimbledon. Whoever did that must do it for the U.S. Open. You
All
can
of
just,
them.
Just tune in and watch the
court
court
that you want.
to
Yeah.
watch.
The quarter you want. Yeah. So we got some questions. We got some questions from
Oh,
listeners.
nice.
Yeah. A couple of rules, and so first one is why is the ball that travels outside of the net? Not if is considered in or not. Why is the ball that travels outside of the net post and lands in? Why is it called in? So I guess a simple answer there.
I mean, if
is
someone
on
goes
the why.
around the net,
yeah,
why
around the net. I
is
mean,
it-
it's hard to do, obviously. The simple answer there is just because you got to have a limitation on the net. So anything around that, it's fair game. I couldn't find anything
Why?
other than why.
Why that rule?
It's in because of it.
Yeah.
There's a funny rule on that basically the ball can go if you have a net that's for doubles and has the single sticks. And there's somehow some gaps between the net and the net post. It can
go through.
It can go through if as long as it doesn't touch him,
Yeah.
because that's not considered
Inside the post?
Yeah.
if that's a doubles
Yep.
post. So you know
So
how they
there's
have the
sometimes there's space in between the net and
Yeah.
the post. Yeah.
Right.
yeah. I mean, none of those. So Federer almost did it last year at Laver Cup, but that was a doubles course. It wouldn't count. Wouldn't have counted. But if basically you have the single sticks,
And then a
And-
little bit of a net.
and then you have
then
the net
post.
and the post. So if somehow you can make the ball go between the net and the post, it's considered in. So that's the only thing that I found. But the why I couldn't find. The second question is if about the tennis scoring, and we all know how ambiguous this is because nobody really knows. So the question was that if the tennis is scored like a clock, 15, 30, 45, and then game, that's one theory why the scoring was like that. I heard a different one. And I looked up and I couldn't. Why is it now 40 instead of 45?
45.
Yeah. Do you guys do you know?
I feel like I've heard you give an explanation
Yeah.
before, but I had no.
So what I've read about it, what I knew and what I read is a little bit different. Like what I knew and I read before a long time ago, I couldn't find, but I didn't dug too deep. So the explanation they have now that they use the clock just to make it easy. And the first point is 15 and 30. It doesn't make that much sense to me. What I read that they started using minutes on the clock kind of like after tennis was invented in the scoring. They talk about the tennis being invented in around 1500. I guess people started using minutes on the clock a little bit later. That was one thing. So that was interesting. And what I knew about it, the all court tennis. Have you ever played it? I just hit a few buds. So that one there it has some weird angles. It's not even. It's got like a roof type of thing on the side. It's got nets like a little bit higher. It's got a hole like a square
that you can hit.
Yeah, there's so many like there's some.
Where do they play this?
So that there's one actually right about on Boylston Street, right above the Cactus Club.
Yeah.
In Boston, they only have about 100 clubs in the world. It's not that many. So this is all court tennis.
Correct.
So what I heard that was connected to that, I heard that in order to score a point, you have to get the ball go through the square that's in the back. So you have a square behind you, like in a curtain.
Yeah.
Right. So I can go over the roof. I can hit over the net. There's a lot of things that he can do. That it took about 15 minutes for the first point. Then it took another 50. So still connected with the time.
Yeah.
15 minutes for the next point and about 10 minutes for the third. That's one explanation that I heard. Why is it that weird? But it's tough to find, man. If you look it up, like you can look it up right now, man. It's tough to find like why is the scoring like that. Where zero comes from is, again, it's from love in tennis.
Louvre. Yep.
The Louvre, which is egg in French. Right? Everybody knows that. But even that is like, maybe. So we don't know why the scoring, but so the explanation was it was easier for people to call 40 instead of 45. So
that's what you found.
That's what one explanation that I saw, a couple of them actually from different sources. Why is 40 instead of 45? But good question, because all of us are just going with it. But think about it. Everybody on the outside, if you tell them, it's a little bit like football too in a way, but it's not one. It's 1 point is 15.
Right.
So it's 15, and then you're 40.
Well, it's just weird that the jumps aren't even.
No.
Is what really.
Yeah. So apparently it was abbreviated from 45. They just said 40, and that's what I read on that. So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
How is there no? I don't understand how there's
did you find something? No.
No, they're just talking about the clock. Yeah.
Yeah. But I looked up at like about 4 or 5 articles, and I'm like, well, I guess that's not.
There's no answer.
No clear answer because it's so old, so they don't know how it came about. And it evolved from a palm game with rackets, and that one we kind of knew.
It's funny how like juniors when you're with kids are always go over someone they'll ask why it's like that.
Those are legit questions.
Yeah, I'm always just like I don't know. I'm like go look it up. You can probably find it, but I guess they can't.
It's not
Yeah.
And the third one, really, really good. The third one is, I'm going to read it. It's a bit of debate lately. My understanding is that the service partner may move her body but not her racket or wave arms in an attempt to deliberately distract the returner. So if you're the net player, to move with the net there, Some are saying it's perfectly fine to stick the racket out to either side, to jump and wave as the partner serving, right? So that's the hindrance. You look it up, and there goes the hindrance, and there's no rule against it, right?
Correct.
But there's a code of tennis,
Right.
So because the code says that you should not do something that can be proven that is creating a hindrance or distraction on your side, but that can't be proven. There's no way to prove that. Who says that
It's a judgment call.
Right.
Correct.
And it's also done all the time.
Yes. So
in subtle ways. Service partners are
exactly.
always
So what's
a little bit up around the net. Waving.
I said
waving your hands.
The code says that a player may change position at a time, including while the server is tossing the ball. Any other movement or any other sound that is made solely to distract the opponent, including but not limited to waving arms or stamping feet, is not allowed. But it's just tough to prove.
Correct.
Right.
So I guess the best answer to that one is like you don't care. You just
Right.
focus on the ball. But it's not, you always have sometimes some, I haven't seen it in a long time, but you saw some people like sitting there when their partner's returning, sitting right at the tee and smacking
Yeah.
the racket,
Yep.
Yeah.
So you see those type of things, but I mean, when you move.
Well, we were just talking about something in one of the practices we did today, and it was about what happens if we're not holding serve. We talked about, well, one, are you double faulting? No, we're not double faulting. They're just they're returning well off of whatever we're doing. And we're like, well, you have to change something up, like basic stuff, different formations,
Yep.
signals, right? And then I brought up something, and I'm going to test your memory about, I forgot what it was called. I don't remember if it was a joke or not.
The possum?
Not the possum. Was it like the eagle?
vulture.
The vulture.
The vulture.
Where the
Yep.
server would stand
Yeah.
like right at the hash mark, and his partner would be right in front of him in a crouched position.
Yeah.
And was it after they served?
Yeah. It will move in.
They'd move in like
With their
this,
arms big,
big, and just start charging the net.
Yeah. That was a play.
Was it in college?
Yes, that
Let's see how it was, right?
I think a college coach. I'm not gonna name the college. Was testing it with a player, and this
that's
is
right.
this
Yeah.
is an yeah.
Yeah.
This is
I
This
brought,
is,
I brought
it's a
that up
good,
to
yeah,
the ladies.
the vulture.
Like, wow. I'm like,
And
yeah.
those are good players. Those were good players that they were telling me that those players were legit.
How long
Yeah,
do you think
so-
you're at that college before you think, did I make the wrong choice? Did I choose the wrong spot?
Yeah, it was
Vulture?
the vulture. There was I guess the coach was testing something different all the time. Do you remember? It was once in a tennis magazine where they're doing the weird eye when they had a player.
The new
Yes.
eye.
The new
The
eye.
new eye.
The new eye.
Yeah.
That's right. That was they had a player by the curtain.
Yeah.
The non-server stood.
Chat a little bit this way.
The non-server stood behind the server.
Behind.
That's it.
Directly, directly behind
directly,
them, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
charged out in a different direction.
Yeah, it was an
It's hard to believe that didn't catch on. That's in Tennis Magazine?
that was it. Remember
It
that
was.
was in Tennis Magazine.
One of those weird.
Who's in
articles.
charge of that operation when that thing comes out?
You might want to edit that too.
Yeah.
Because that, by the way, that
No,
wasn't
that's
a
Tennis
question.
Magazine.
That was a,
Yeah.
It was a suggestion.
yeah.
Whatever, dude. We can talk. Yeah.
Well, remember the possum that Greggy used to talk about?
Yeah. That was a Lapierre move.
It
What was that
I
one?
think
Remind me
was
of
a
that
Lapierre
one.
move.
So, as the returner, so you'd be like in your ready position.
Oh, I remember
And
this
basically,
now.
like right as the timing was important.
right.
Like right as the server would toss the ball, you would totally pull out of your like making look ready and like kind of stand up, looking like there was like a
Yeah,
break,
ball catch.
a pause, like a
Yeah.
ball catch, stand up and kind of go like that to get the net player to try to
check.
turn and look.
Check
But while the
out.
time they
Check
turned
out.
and look, a ball was being blasted by them, and then you rip a return straight ahead. That's right. I mean,
Yeah.
if you pull that off, that's legendary. Right
Yeah.
there.
I actually believe not. I always think about it. I always think
forgot
like this
about
could be a
that
good
one.
time for
By the way,
possum.
I don't think it's that hard to get someone to bite.
Yeah.
As long as you sell it, you're
Yeah.
down, and then like.
Yeah.
And like, and all of a sudden, boom, that guy turns around, there's a ball laced up, and by the time you look, it's coming right back at you. I love it. I love that.
that
I
was
like
a
it better
good
than the
possum.
vulture.
Yeah,
Or the
I mean,
new eye, for Christ's sake.
Yes. The new the vulture. I know. When you think about it, man, you can do so many things. There's no other than having the side for, if you think about it, lines wise and rules, other than having to serve outside the line and having to return from one side and serve on one box. After that, all
Partner
those
can
lines,
stand wherever they
whatever
want.
the heck you want. You can even
Exactly.
stay inside of the service boxes.
Correct.
There's no.
Yeah.
Well, I've
If you
seen-
return, you're saying you can be inside the service box.
If you're part of
right?
serving,
Yeah.
you can get off the court.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not playing this one.
Right.
This guy's too good in singles.
yeah, or you could stand behind them while they're
Yeah.
returning.
Yes.
You return, and then you play singles for the first two shots, and then I'll come driving in. You could draw up any type of play. People be like, what?
Do you know another thing on that? And that I remember now that we keep talking about those. Imagine if, because you don't have to declare a side when you return.
Well,
Right.
don't you declare a side once you
Once you
return one ball
once
from
you
that?
hit.
Side.
Yeah, no. So
Oh,
hear
so
me
you're
out.
saying
Hear me
double-
out.
Oh, the first point.
First point, you have two players return.
Yes.
And what? Just whoever the serve goes.
First
one
point.
point.
Whatever.
Yeah, you have double the chance of returning.
Talk about getting into a server's mind.
Can you believe that?
Yeah. You have two returners, then be like, no, you're not allowed to. Yeah, I am. There's no. You don't have to declare who.
Right.
So
who
whoever
returns.
hits it first, then it's their side.
That's their side.
Until
Yeah.
And they'd be like, no. You each have to play your own side. Be like, we know. What side are you playing? We'll tell you after this. After you hit the
I'm
serve.
putting
we'll
this
tell
in the
you.
ladies' practice. I want them to pull that out in the match.
one match.
If
I
you
want to.
you really want to psych somebody out,
I was just gonna
undefeated.
say that would
Yeah.
the person you did that against would
There'd be
totally unravel on the first
serious
point.
cat
That would be
fight
it right
immediately.
Oh
right
my
off the
God.
bat.
Yeah, or like he'll be brought up to the league.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, I love it.
I didn't
Yeah.
know you didn't have to declare a side. That's a
As
rule.
far
huh?
as far as I know, you don't have to declare a side. Think about it. When did you ever declare the side?
That's
you're
true.
returning?
You just
Never.
went
No,
to
you
that
just
side.
go
Just
out
go
and
to
hit it
that.
first.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
And when you switch at the end of sets, it's not like you're like, we're switching sides.
Yeah. No,
Or the
you
beginning
don't.
of the set,
Yeah.
you
You just
do
go
it.
to that
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
All right,
I
we're
like
both
that.
back, and we're gonna
Oh,
figure it
yeah.
out after you hit
Yeah.
the serve. We'll let you know.
Yeah.
I'm throwing that out there.
It's-
I am.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Like if you lose a set 6-love, how do you get yourself back on the right track? You don't declare a side for the first
Go
point.
stand next to each other.
And you know what?
Hang out.
So here's the question: what if it's a double fault?
You do it
Ooh,
again.
you can do it
the Second
again.
point.
I know.
You can.
Uh-huh. And by the way, there's a good chance. Like, there's a really good chance it's a double fault.
I'm definitely throwing this thing out.
Oh boy.
We need somebody to actually put it in play though. Who's ballsy enough to put it in play?
Yeah, you
huh?
got to take.
Yeah.
You have to have a server
Yeah.
because
Oh.
you're
Yeah.
gonna get.
You know who I'm thinking about on that team.
Yeah, that's
They'll definitely do it. I'm not going to say names.
that's
I'll be all for it.
yeah. That's a good one. Again, there's no limits, man. There's no restrictions,
It's true.
right?
Yeah,
You can just if you can do the new eye by the curtain and the
that's
ball
what I
cover-
mean.
Yeah,
You need a good name for it though.
yeah,
It needs a name.
yeah.
I'll have to think on that one for a bit.
Imagine like in 2 weeks everybody pulls out. Like, here's the thing. You play a team they have not beat yet. They own you. You start with this. And then you
Just
do the
waiting to
vulture.
some Thursday
Then
night.
you do the vulture when you serve.
Pull a
gonna
couple
be
of
like-
possums. A vulture, a possum, a two returner, and a curtain eye, and you're good.
Oh, yeah.
Or even like return from inside the service boxes. No, you got to be behind it. No, I don't. That's another one.
You have to let the ball bounce, but you don't
You
have
do.
to be
You
behind.
don't have to be behind it.
Right.
You will occasionally see people
You'll
be
see-
very close to that line.
Well,
like-
you'll
Yeah.
see the non-returners sometimes squeak over
Well,
Yeah.
even a little bit further,
well,
and then they always step right out. But just to
Well, how
get a
about
little,
just have the non-returner sit in the box? I'm returning. Just stand in the box in front of me.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's a rule or not, but that's a good question.
well, that's what I'm saying. I've seen.
Oh, I know.
I've seen
Like,
people.
lean
Yeah,
in.
they can cross the line.
but
yeah.
but if
Even
I'm
full-
serving, I am trying to hit that person
But
as
there- but
hard
there
as
you
I
go.
possibly can.
Right.
Right.
can.
And then after 2 missed serves,
There
we
you
look
go.
at each other and we're like,
It's like, remember I'm not going to name that guy. Remember he had you, will you serve over here so I can get that? He would stand literally on the service line. I'm not going to name who it is.
Oh, to take that
yes.
return early and yeah.
And
yeah.
when we'd play against him, I'd be like,
Yeah.
I'm going to try to hit the ball so hard into his body,
Right.
and you double fault.
yeah.
Right.
He's already in my head.
Right.
Changing your decision.
Remember when he said that? Oh, can
Yeah,
you
yeah.
loop some balls to me, Kev?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I need to practice seeing that. Kev's like, Kev just kept chipping balls at him.
I'm trying to give the guy a good
practice.
warm up. I'm trying to give him a good warm
And
up.
he's like, can you roll balls at me? I want to know what I'm going to be playing against.
Yeah.
Kev like looks at me like, no.
I came mentally undone after that. I couldn't even play. I was so.
and it tells you
I
how
was
much
so
of a
out
mental
sorts.
game it is.
He
You
said
can
your
do so
warm up
much.
sucked and you needed
No,
to.
I was like using a continental
And just
grip.
chipping balls.
Just
to
so
warm
like
them
I
up.
didn't. My grips over. Sometimes balls just dip, and I didn't want to like. You're not trying to win
Yeah,
the warm
yeah.
up, so I'm just trying to give this guy volleys. So I like rolled over to like my continental, was like hitting flat, kind of chipping balls. He's like, "Will you turn back over and kind of roll a few?" Like wanted me to
Did
hit.
you?
the- I don't even remember.
You
I don't
probably
think.
did.
I probably would have, and Larry was like,
No. I was like, I want to get used to his ball.
Yeah.
I'm like,
What a bold move.
But again, you can do so many of those. So many.
Right.
That if you really want to compete and really, it's a mental game just as much as a physical game, you can do the things that they're allowed. Somebody at some point had to come up with the eye.
Yeah.
Somebody at
true.
some point
No,
had to
you're
come
right.
up with Australian.
you're right.
Right.
Stand,
They're like, wait a
stand in
second.
front of your
Right.
partner.
Why do we have to say like this?
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody had to come up with one up, one back.
Right.
It's right because
Or even both backs. Right?
Or
Like,
both
right
back,
now we're
yeah.
both
Yeah,
back.
exactly,
Now let's
yeah.
both stay back because at some point it's played more traditionally.
yeah. So why not just do that? Like we're not.
I mean, I guess
formation
what
on
that guy
return.
is, that guy is grabbing at with the
formation on-
vulture is just like, maybe I stumble upon something that
Yeah.
works. Maybe we've already kind of figured out most of it, and some of it's a bit of a gimmick, though. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like there's
Yeah.
so many. It's a tennis court. It's not that, but there's only so many different looks. Although maybe some of that stuff, like for one time,
Yeah.
like use it one time.
When you really need it
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a second deuce, and you vulture.
Well,
And
again,
the other team is like, "What the fuck just happened?" You're like, "Well,
yeah. Beat it.
5-4 now.
There you go.
Yeah, our game."
Imagine
You know?
going to the practice that after that match, like those guys did this. The coach is like, wait a second, what?
Right,
What?
right,
Say that again.
right.
They wave their arms like this.
Was that really part of it? Waving the arms?
Yeah, it was coming in big.
It's come
so the
in.
vulture
Yeah.
with the racket, so that it's a distraction. It's a distraction play. Yeah.
Dude, Sean would be a great vulture.
Yeah.
If I ever play with Sean again, I'm
Yeah.
vulturing. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry, Thursday night contract friends. We won't be friends after that match, I'm sure, but I am sending that guy in. You wouldn't even see me behind him. I'd be just like coming in behind him, like real small. Damn. That's crazy. But I guess if there's not clear
It's not clear. It's
rules,
yeah. It's really
it's like a gentleman's sport. So there is
there's
a
code.
There
There's
is
a code,
There is
right?
some etiquette
Code.
involved too. That
Yeah.
like you have to be comfortable being like an asshole out there. Some people have a hard time doing that. Some people don't. You know what I mean? But like some of that stuff, you'd have to be very comfortable being like, all right,
yeah.
this is not going to make a lot of friends, but I really want to win this point.
But you get towards the end of the season, you see, teams, undefeated teams. Nobody can beat this team. And like, why not try
Yeah,
this?
do something different.
Why not? It may not work. It could also throw people off.
I would 100% would throw people off. You win but they would be too busy saying it's illegal to even play the point.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, well, it is legal. Now you lost that point.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't even have to play the point probably. They wouldn't even know what was going on.
Yeah.
Might not even return the serve. They'd see you crouching in front of that, and they'd be like, what's going on? You'd hit the serve. They wouldn't even be like, what's happening? Dirty love. That's what's happening. Vulture. The more I think about it, I kind of like it.
I talked about it today.
I kinda
I'm
like
telling
it.
you,
Yeah.
They were like, wow. I'm like, we could explore it.
We could explore.
I like it. I like it. I like Larry's not even waiting for like week 30. in the season.
no,
He's
week
got
2.
Week 2, and he's like, we're vulturing. Wow. Wow. Jesus.
That made me think that the obvious. Might as well talk about it, like those funky rules of tennis of obviously being able to reach over the net only
The ball's going back over.
if the ball bounced on your side and the trajectory goes over, and you can hit it straight into the net there.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
There's a couple of clips on that. But
And
then
you can break, too, after contact, right? You can break
Yes.
the plane.
Yeah,
You
con-
can
contact
contact
before
contact.
the net, on
Which
your
you said-
side.
yeah.
And you can reach over after.
And it's also you can ask me if I did it. But ultimately, if
Your
I'm the
call.
one who's hitting, it's me. I can say, no,
It's
I
the
broke
same
it.
as a
You can be
double
like, you
bounce,
reached
right,
over,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Which, to me, that's the wackiest rule
It
in
is.
tennis, is that you're policing
Yourself.
yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the biggest difference between that and any other sport.
I do often wonder how a person like you go to the supermarket, you go anywhere, and there's so many people that don't play tennis, how they look at the sport. We look at it as our life. It's like everything is normal to us. But imagine somebody that is just watching football. Like, what's this game? How do you?
Right.
15, what? Games, sets, match,
Right.
breaker, tiebreaker, what?
Right.
You know, it could sound pretty
Yeah.
different to somebody that has never ever done it.
Right.
Yeah, there's not a sport that's like very similar to it. Whereas like I feel like a lot of other sports are built off of each other, you know.
Yeah, I mean, what other sports do you even do little mini? I guess volleyball you play
Like
sets,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's similar. 'cause
you
it has
play
a net.
games, for
Right,
a
and it's
match.
over a
Yeah.
net. You can, but volleyball you only score when you serve.
No,
That's
not
changed.
anymore.
You score every time
Every
now.
point now.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
changed
really?
that because
It's not
it
rally
took too long.
scoring. Yeah.
It took way too long.
Yeah, because it was kind of like a pickleball. You have to win
Yeah.
the point to get the serve,
Serve back, and then
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
score points. Yeah.
Score points on
But
serve.
now
Only
it's
on
every
serve.
point
Every
you
point.
serve.
I
Yeah.
kind of like that better. I mean, what if you're, I don't know,
good
good
defense.
At, yeah.
exactly.
It's adding a whole,
Yeah.
adding a
But
whole
again,
part of the
sticking
game.
to some old rules now. And my question to you fellas is, because I think about it all the time, could be, and you hear those guys talking about it, getting rid of the lets.
Oh, I did that for a year in college. And
Yeah.
I hated it.
You did?
Yeah. There was a lot of fluky points. You don't get a lot of huge lets, like
Yeah.
where it hits the net and like pops way up. Occasionally it happens. And like, I don't know.
So you
But
do-
that goes back
most
to
of the time they were dribbles. Like, dude, a let in the middle of a point is kind of cheesy sometimes. You get it's part of the game,
Yeah.
but like you're like, oh, I just wanted to play at that ball. I think I would have done something. So like right off the serve, where it can happen, and just dribbles over, and you're like,
It
So,
goes
yeah.
back to policing yourself, right? Because so many players in the college
They
game,
started cheating.
yeah, they would
Yeah, they
just
were calling
they'd get aced,
let-
and they'd be like, "All right, let."
oh, I
play
do that all
again."
the time.
That's
right?
why that happened.
That's why.
Right, that's why they instilled that
exactly
rule,
what
right?
happened.
Right.
Because they didn't have an official on each court, or they didn't have the sensor on the net or whatever it
I
was.
think they've gone. It changed while I was in college,
It's back.
and then it changed. It
Yeah.
went.
They're playing
They,
Let's
they
Out
got
now.
away from
Back.
it again, and now I think they've
Back.
like
They're
they've
playing
gone
Let's
back
Out.
and they've gone back
Yeah.
and forth on it a few times.
I think it would be good.
By the way, if you do play them out, anyone should be able. If in doubles, anyone should be able
That's
to
it.
return.
That's how
World
it
Team
is.
Tennis.
But that's
That's
World
the
Team
rule.
Tennis.
Not when I was playing it. Was.
Oh,
It's changed,
I
yeah.
think that is the rule now.
Yeah. Which, by the way, that makes it a little better because
Yeah.
now, like, dude, who's
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're not. You don't.
But I get it from the aspect of policing yourself. Like that takes the rule kind of out of it, right? Like nobody,
That rule, yeah.
you know that
Yeah.
specific one. It's easy to just say, okay, I just got aced. I'm just gonna call it let, and now first serve again, I get another shot at it. Whereas,
I would match it by when it let and dribbled over. I'd call the serve out. Even if it was
yeah,
in.
I mean,
What are you gonna do about that? You're gonna fix one rule. I can break another one. I mean, what are you gonna do? Honestly,
No,
like,
but-
oh, it just missed. They're like, dude, it's in the middle of the box. I'm like, not from where I was standing. You know, like you can. What? It's a game you have to police yourself. So now, I don't know. I think it's cheesy. I think you don't get a lot of. It'd be interesting to know how often people actually get a play off a let. Dude, it's got to be a really big serve to
that
get
hits
a ball
hard. Yeah.
that
But-
gets up enough where someone gets a play. A lot
And
of them
still
on
stays
serves,
in the box,
Think about them on
yeah.
serves. How often they're like
Yeah.
dribblers.
Well, I think you're looking at it at the extreme end of making a play off of it. What I'm looking at when Rars is asking this question is watching the U.S. Open, everything is automated now. And literally there are serves that are clearing the net by like that.
And they're getting
And
lets
the
called.
machine is saying
Right.
let, and the pros are like,
Right.
that cleared the net by. So
Yeah,
that takes that right out of the equation because then you're
Yeah.
playing every serve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No matter what.
No matter what,
Yeah.
because that's a sensor that's I guess they haven't perfected the line. The line calls are different, but that
Yeah.
By the way,
that would take that out. It happened a ton,
at the US. How do they not
Happened
have a
a
better
ton.
handle on that?
and that's like right out of there.
It's like sensors, right? Because you can literally have. What if this whole sensors can have a bug
Correct.
on it?
Yeah.
The air.
Or a
Right.
little wind.
That's
yeah.
what.
Yeah.
That's
Just
what's
enough
happening. It's
impact
not
and-
touching it, but it feels like it's touching, and that would be different.
I used to like when they. Dude,
Oh, the guy sitting there.
fingers
They
up.
used
What
to
a-
have somebody touching it.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
I,
they-
I don't know.
totally
That
forgot
They'd
about
be there and they'd have their
Oh,
dude.
I
They'd
didn't
sit
know
there,
that.
dude. They would be
Like
crouched down and they'd have a finger lightly.
Finger.
I forgot
Yes.
about it.
What a tense fucking job that is, dude.
When did that disappear?
Oh my
I
God!
don't
When they
know.
got
I
when
remember
they got
seeing
the
it.
electronic one, probably right. It had to
Yeah,
be.
maybe 15 years ago.
Yeah, when they
20,
had
yeah.
something
15.
strapped
Yeah.
to the net.
They have a
And then
little
the ump
wire
would
that
get it.
runs through now. That's how they do the
I think that's
sensor.
a tense job. I think those guys, when they were done, would go to the bar and get hammered. That would
Air
be
traffic
like
controllers.
Yeah. Just like, I don't know, dude. It happened so quick. Did I feel
Did it
something?
really hit?
Did it really hit? What?
And then you have to call it quick too. Like you
yeah.
can't like
Dude,
wait on it.
meanwhile,
Right?
and then you call it,
Yeah.
you get McEnroe, he's like, that didn't hit. You're like, oh my God. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
I wonder
you
if
do
they
have
were,
that eternal battle.
if they were just part of the cycle of
Line.
Oh, the line
linesmen,
judge, the
or
umpire.
if they were like,
No, I'm sure.
if they were like, oh no, I'm a net judge.
yeah, how do you do that? How do you introduce that job? How do you introduce that
No,
job?
it's
in a-
probably
in a-
part.
gotta
They
have-
probably rotated who did that.
No, no,
right?
You gotta have great feel.
Sensitive.
You see them before the match, and they're like, you're just getting them nice and. What are you doing? I'm just getting my fingers loose, nice and warm.
No, I love it. What are the tryouts for that job?
Right.
You know, like how do you get it?
You close your eyes, and they hit you with like a feather. You have to be able to like, it's touching down. It's touching down. Yeah, I guess when they had what did they used to call that machine? It had a name.
I don't know.
Right when it first came out, the Cyclops.
Oh,
Didn't they call it-
Cyclops.
Didn't they call it the Cyclops?
Oh, for the
That
for the
would
lines.
be- oh no, I thought that was the.
No.
The
I thought
Cyclops.
that was the.
That was the service lines. The Cyclops.
Is that what
I
it
thought
was?
the
Yeah,
Cyclops was
that
the
that was
net.
before Hawkeye.
Look it up.
The Cyclops, and that would call the ball in or out on a
The
serve.
beep.
The beep.
The beep.
Yeah.
Yes, on the close ones, but okay, maybe
That
you're
was
right.
not the net. The net was always a feel or like a wire that went through it. That was calling the serves in or out.
That's a sensor in the net, or is it a camera that's like seeing
Sensor.
if
It's a
it's
sensor.
There's a
Right, it's gotta
sensor.
be.
Yeah.
So I mean, anything.
Yeah,
could.
Cyclops computer system.
Right?
Does the net?
Introduced at Wimbledon Championships 1980 and the U.S. Open in 1981.
And that called what?
I think you're right, Larry. I think it called
The
the
serves.
lines, the serves.
Serves.
Yeah.
Because it's going so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They said
to
the naked eye
determine
couldn't
whether a serve is in or
In
out.
or out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
It
That guy is
said
like, did I
it
call
had
it? Is it in? Is it
infrared
out?
horizontal
mean.
beams of light
And by the way,
along
the serve's going
court.
120
Yeah.
miles an hour. You have to be so on.
Yeah.
That call has to happen.
How many
so,
missed
I
calls
would've-
do you think there were
Do you know how many
before
phantom
one
lets
of
I'd
them?
call? Soon as I'd be like, what? Dude. Guy's still bouncing the ball back there. I'm like, I know. I'm just getting ready. I bet they made less mistakes than the machine.
No.
Don't you think? Dude, you
What?
either feel it or
Like Hawkeye compared to the line judges?
No, he's talking about the
the
let
let
court.
machine.
The let
Oh,
court.
I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know. Yeah.
No, the Hawkeye.
The
gets it.
Hawkeyes,
No,
that's-
no. Now there's no. I feel like people.
But they don't
even
use
question
Hawkeye at
calls
Wimbledon,
anymore,
right?
Because they're just like it's a computer.
Is that still a thing, or that was a
I
thing
think
a
they
couple
have-
of years
I
ago?
think-
No,
I
this
think,
year I thought
Did
it
they
was all
have it?
electronic, right?
I thought they had line judges
I
too,
thought
but
they
maybe
did.
not.
Oh no, you might be right. I remember those.
I know they
Those-
took him out most tournaments.
those silly
and
outfits.
In a way, I know you look back like it was fun. It was a little bit of a back and forth. Added a little bit of
There's error, right? Like
human
it's
error,
like
but a bit of a spectacle to it. Like now, those guys have to accept it, and they do accept it.
This
and move
Yeah,
on.
no one challenges.
Yeah.
But this what?
Because
no
what's your
challenge.
challenge? It's a
Yeah,
computer.
right.
Yeah.
challenge is the challenge. It's like
There's no
not a
challenge.
At the
Just
open,
call
there was
it
a
the
screen.
challenge.
They just
behind
call it
them. They
close
would show
calls
it.
now,
Yeah,
right? And they show it.
Yeah.
It's whatever. Yeah, whoever
But
owns the
there
rights.
can never be another Serena blow up or anything like that. Like that brought an aspect to it.
Yeah,
When
exactly.
She went after the line judge.
Yeah.
Or Djokovic hitting it into the line judge.
That's
you know,
right.
It brings,
Right.
It's but in a way, it's makes the court a little bit again. You just focus on the machines now. There's no more that human aspect. But I mean, look, I don't want to have that job. I don't want to be there like a grand slam and be like, I'm a little hungover and don't trust myself right now.
I'm like, move me to the chair for the lines. And then you get like the Stefan Edberg. You take one between the
Yeah, and
legs.
then
You
you're
fall
done.
and crack your head. I'm like, dude, what one do you want? You want to be in the chair? There's a lot of stress up there too.
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
yeah.
that's a
Scream that.
stressful. Yeah, man. You can totally change the outcome
Yeah.
of a match.
Even-
I mean, I guess any ref
Even
can,
the
but,
roaming
like,
refs, like in college, like
Oh, they're a joke.
yeah, it's like
I think that's the worst. You're better off not having them.
pick and choose people that they're gonna call
Yeah.
stuff on.
Yeah.
All good people, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Clueless on the court. That's all. But you should. I mean, I guess you should just call it fair no matter what. But I feel like
You guys had roaming, right? You had roaming refs, and right?
we would have.
That's
them,
all you had, just one, or did you have one per court? No.
No, not
there'd
one per
be
court.
Usually a couple though.
Would you have a
them-
couple on each match?
We would have them at either tournaments
Yeah.
or occasionally we played some teams that my coach historically thought were cheaters.
So you requested.
And you could request them.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
they'd be out there and they would inevitably screw
Oh,
us.
every match we played had at least one.
Oh, we didn't have
Oh.
that. Someone must have been.
No, I think it's changed.
It's
I think it
changed.
was
You
required.
had to have somebody there.
Yeah, every match we played had at
Really?
least one. Just one walking around, but one.
I'd get called on foot faults.
It was so funny too. When
I hate getting
when the
that's
match
just
is
stupid.
ending and there's only one match, then they're on your court for the whole time.
Ugh.
I mean, people that were given bad calls, just like it's tough for them.
I think a foot fault is the stupidest call. in
Oh, when they
tennis.
call foot faults, yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
there's no advantage.
Oh, especially your serve. You led me into that. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah. Although I foot faulted across, not in, so I guess it kind of is maybe a little bit of an advantage.
On the due side, you're stepping.
Yeah, when I drag my
Yeah.
foot up, sometimes it didn't join. It would be
Yeah.
across a little bit. Dude, come
Yeah.
on, you're gonna call a foot fault on that?
They
Which
call
it is,
call
they
yeah,
do,
yeah,
but
yeah.
like, come on, give me a break.
They have now.
It's
You see how they have
stupid.
incidentals? We talked about last time. Incidentals at all the tournaments now. The refs or the Grand Slams. The U.S. Open had it. The refs now have double bounce or foot fault, or you can ask for a
Oh, they
review, and
do.
they'll review it. It's like the refs in soccer. They go to the
Monitor.
the monitor, and they do that. So that one, I think they should have had that as they had the Hawkeye. The double bounce, you can tell if double bounce
Yeah,
twice
that's
or not.
easy. That's
Yeah,
an
yeah.
easy one.
Correct.
Yeah,
And if you
yeah.
can tell with the bounce at every quarter, yeah, this one was
You
two
should be able
bounces.
to double bounce, yeah.
right,
The same trajectory had two bounces or one.
right.
So that one, I mean, maybe not. Maybe it's, but they could have had it. But no, they look at it. So the refs look at it.
Do we have time to talk about
We
one
have time.
more rule thing? And it happened to us, and I don't know if you did any research on that. When someone was playing I against us,
Yeah.
and they're serving from
Oh yeah.
they're serving from the ad side,
But they're actually
but their
stepping
ball
across.
their ball toss is going to the deuce side, and they're making contact.
But are their feet still on the ad side?
Remember, you questioned that because now they're creating angle to go away.
Right.
Mhm.
I know, but if isn't the rule your feet?
Yeah.
That's
It's
what
your
I was
feet.
saying. Yeah,
It's just
There's
your
probably
feet.
a
So the ball
straight
toss
plane
can go
from
way
the
over there.
from the hash mark, right?
Yeah.
And it's where your feet are.
Yeah.
Because I can hit a ball.
You could hit it
in
on the
the
other-
court, right? And my feet.
You
have
can-
to be
By the way,
behind
that
it,
does create
technically.
it. If you know how to
Yeah.
get some action on your
Yeah.
serve,
Correct.
that 100% does give
And-
you a little bit of an advantage. You can definitely
Big
get a
time.
ball.
And it was happening. It
it
was
was.
sliding away.
But it was yeah, because we we talked about it after that. It's I think my thing was that it was the step was happening.
over the
Mhm.
hash mark.
Over the hash.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And obviously the ball. Because the ball, like,
But I don't think the ball matters.
it doesn't matter,
is, right?
The ball
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No.
It should almost matter more than the foot, though.
Yeah,
I
but how do
mean,
you police
But
that?
how do you police it? It's
You can now with technology.
With technology, you're right.
yeah, straight
but
plane up.
but when the rules were made,
Correct.
that was not something that you can police. Is that like, because you can't if you when you it's not when you start, it's when you make contact,
Correct.
right? So I can start in the correct position, especially if you start right at the center hash mark on the baseline,
right.
and then if you bring your foot across, you do that. All of us
Right.
do that actually. So if you overbring it, that's gonna now step on the other side. So the rule is, it's where are your feet at the point of contact, not before or after.
That's what you were talking about getting called for.
That's what I would get called.
yeah.
Yeah.
There you
I
go.
wonder when I was called, why was I feel like I remember it happening in singles. Why was I so close?
close to the singles team.
Like it wasn't when I was in I formation. It was like happening in singles matches. Like why didn't I just?
Yeah.
Why did
What
my
was your
coach
coach?
just be like, dude, just
Yeah.
step away
your
from the
left.
hash mark? Dude.
Yeah, what are you doing there?
I don't know.
Especially on the deuce side, you're exposing your backhand as a lefty. If you serve on the deuce side.
Right.
Yeah, because you're so
No,
close.
I'm not. Yeah, play was flawed, obviously, and illegal. I don't know why, but it happened more than it definitely happened more than once.
Yeah, I can see that with some of us. Then you move your feet. If you start too close, then the same with the foot fault, right? You can step a little bit over.
I mean,
if you
that's
don't
broken
realize
all
that.
the time, by the way. I mean,
Yeah.
watch any match.
The funny thing
not
about
pro, but like recreational.
Yeah,
I
recreational.
mean, dude, it's probably broken almost
every match.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind it's broken every match that's
Yeah.
being played. The thing about that is that you have people talk about foot fault, but a lot of the times that hurts the player.
It hurts them. If they're not serving and volleying, it hurts them, I think.
Right.
That's or even like if you go strictly geometry of the serve, even if they step in one big step, they sometimes miss a long.
Yeah, they lose.
Right,
They
yeah,
lose
yeah,
that
they
angle.
lose.
If they would have stayed, they would have
Right.
made that shot in. So now you
Really, the only advantage it creates is as the returner, if you know it's happening and you get
Yeah.
so bent out of shape about it,
Yeah.
You're
like,
only focused
you're
on
angry
that,
it's
right?
happening,
Yeah.
now you're missing returns, but
Yeah.
it's really not.
Right.
Even they are serving on. Are they really going to get to the net that much faster with that?
I mean, there's one step. So yeah,
Come on, you know.
that one I can see a point there, but
I
it
get it, but
doesn't
come on.
happen. Yeah, no, exactly. No,
I
I'm
would
with
have
you
had that
there.
return at your feet if you didn't have that half a step in the court. No way.
Double hit. That's very
Continuous
questionable.
motion.
The,
motion,
Continuous
right.
motion now.
the continuous motion has to be. So, how do you? There was one in Cincinnati, I think, or
Oh, I saw one.
yeah, it was not.
It might have been the U.S.
It was
Open.
in the U.S. Open, and by the way, the
Was Shelton.
announcers,
Ben
It
Shelton.
was Shelton, yeah.
the
Ben Shelton,
announcers
yeah.
seemed, whoever it was, they seemed like
They didn't know the rule or
unsure
something.
talking about it.
Yeah,
Like
Well,
explaining it.
that's- yeah.
Like, dude, what? You guys, wow. Right, but his was one motion.
yeah.
Yeah, you just can't stop after
Yeah.
you hit it,
can't
right?
stop
You
it.
got to just
Or-
keep going.
Yeah, and a lot of times it is quick, but other times it gets caught in there for a little bit longer, which is like, that's part of it too, right? Yeah.
I think if you have to change direction or have a take back to get a little bit extra,
Right.
extra juice, I think that's when it should be. If it changes the path or you actually went backwards.
It happens.
During the same
right.
swing.
Yeah.
Imagine if you could, though, like set yourself up, and then
Yeah.
that would be
touch.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
It changed the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Staying with the doubles there on you know what I think it's something that it's not talked about enough. What do you guys think on let's start with this one. In professional doubles we see a lot of one up, one back. So what I would like to know is they're staying back because the ground strokes are so good they can put it anywhere they want, or maybe a little bit of both, their volleys are not good enough to withstand the same ground stroke coming from the other side. So is the discrepancy between ground strokes and volleys way bigger now than it was when the classical doubles was developed, when the serving and volley?
Yeah.
The difference in speed, what he can do with the ground stroke,
Yeah.
and how can your volley can withstand that?
I think that's what it is. I don't think the volleys
Have gotten worse.
have gotten worse.
The ground
You
strokes.
just
Or they
didn't
can't hang,
evolve
it's just
as
that-
much.
I think that's what the game has
The ball
evolved to,
is
right?
so-
It's a singles game for the guys growing up, right? It's
Yeah.
Those guys growing up aren't playing high school doubles, college doubles, whatever it is. They're going straight to the pro to play singles. Now their volleys are lacking that much, you think?
This is what that's.
I think the ground strokes are just so big.
Just
that
so
it's
better.
only-
Yeah.
So much better.
Yeah.
I think the evolution of the ground strokes and the serve in a different way.
And
but-
technology with the rackets too, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's like I think technology was developed for the ground strokes primarily to get
get
more
more-
racket rotation, get
Right,
the spin, everything of the frames. So what he can do, the geometry of the court that's being played from the baseline has been changed by the frames so much. But it's been made to evolve the ground strokes. I don't think it's been made to necessarily help the volleys. Because you might get a different racket for a volley that, I don't know, maybe heavier, maybe
Right.
something that can withstand 100 miles per hour ground stroke and can work with it.
Right.
Right.
But you're not going to be able to hit
Yes.
ground strokes
Right,
with that
from
shot.
that.
Correct, because a lot of it now is about racket head speed.
That's what I'm saying. Like
That's the big
the
thing.
technology is developed for the ground stroke.
Yes, to get the.
So it's not necessarily for the volley. So
Yeah.
ground stroke, full motion,
That's
like
full motion technology.
Versus
Yeah.
volley or blocking, right? So because it could be a different racket and you can hit an unbelievable volley with it.
Right.
So I think that's where one is technology, but the other one it could be like what you're saying there. That's my thought too. That a little discrepancy between if you go to Rod Laver, right? So we're going back 50 years. The amount of times that guy worked on ground strokes, serves, and volleys was probably 3/3
Equal.
right? Right now, I don't think that percentage is anywhere near that, especially on a singles player. I don't think they're doing volleys as much as they do ground strokes.
No, but they don't need to be as good.
That's what I'm saying. It's evolved to a
Right.
to a
You're coming in behind such huge shots
Yeah.
that like it's you just
The
need
game
to be able
evolved,
to like,
yeah.
you just need to be able to like block a ball into a certain direction.
so as Dolph is saying, you grow up playing singles. Your foundation of your game is ground strokes and serves. That coming in is kind of left behind because you don't need it because of technology, and two, then the less you do it, the less you trust it. So then you get to now a level where you know what I'm gonna stay back. My volleys can withstand that my shot coming back to me.
Right.
Because it's always one like, why do I stay back? Well,
Right.
they're not versus like on a recreational player. Their volleys and ground strokes are
Right.
comparable
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
I mean,
In
it
fact,
could
for
be
some,
the opposite.
maybe it's easier
It-
to get in
yeah.
and be at the
Yeah.
net and pick off a ball that's not.
It's the easiest
doing
ground
that
stroke,
much
yeah.
And just like boom, put it away.
I
when
think
you're a little
that's
bit
true for
closer.
like a good athlete trying to play tennis that hasn't played that much tennis. They're going to be more comfortable up at the net just
Well,
reacting to
hand-eye
balls than they
coordination.
are trying to hit a full loop forehand, right?
Right.
Like that's
Right.
that's a harder thing to do.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's more pieces.
Right.
To it where you can just be up around there and
Right.
just figure out how to get your strings at the ball.
Yeah.
And turn
And
it
just
that
keep it
way.
as simple as
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
the strokes that evolve the most over time are ground strokes and serve.
Mm.
The speed of the serve, the angles of the returns, the
Variation,
kick
spin,
serve,
yeah.
Spin, yeah.
the spin, and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
the kick serve right now, it's tough. Ground strokes, obviously, that you can do so much more. Volley, think about the volley technique. Other than adding a swing and volley, which is a ground stroke,
Hasn't changed.
hasn't changed.
Yeah.
No.
You just, if anything, it got reduced because of the speed of the ball coming to you.
Coming to you. You
Right.
can do less.
So you just have stick the ball in front. Hopefully, you got good
Yeah,
wrist there,
you're
strong hands.
redirecting up there. You just, yeah.
Yeah, you're not. So it's
Yeah.
it's funny how that, now is that gonna catch up in the next 20 years? Maybe that's the way to go. Maybe it's something else. Maybe like the super spins. You see, was it Moutet? There was he had a bunch of underhand serves. He's like it's more efficient than my, and he didn't use it as a
As a gimmick, he was
as a
using
tactic
it,
to
yeah.
distraction tactic. That's what I'm trying to say. He used it as I'm gonna hit a under, so it's
Slicer.
super.
Yeah, I mean, I'd
super
use it
cool.
against what's his name? It's returning back from the wall. Medvedev.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's Alcaraz. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like, dude, that guy's way, way back. You're telling me you couldn't quickly
You
cut
should-
a ball in that now,
Yeah.
carve it that stays low and breaks.
That's you should see
real-
those guys serves,
real
man.
early.
It was like it's more efficient than my regular serve because he's a shorter guy.
You used it on a second serve.
As a second serve, yeah.
Almost all the time when he missed his first serve. Or?
It wasn't all the time, but it was not predictable. It was like you
Yeah.
can see when he's gonna go on the hand. So think about it. That ball was bouncing halfway inside of the service box
And then breaking.
and breaking left or right. That's not an easy shot. I don't care if you know it's coming.
Right.
No, there's not a
Yeah.
lot you can do with it.
Yeah.
Eventually, you could
Staying
stand
low,
in.
you're popping the
Well,
ball
you could
back
stand
up.
in, but then he could
But
have
then
the
he
ability
goes-
at that
Yeah,
point
to
to then
change
go
and then go
overhand.
big, yeah.
And, yeah.
Go a quick serve on you. So, is that gonna be next thing? Because in paddle,
Is there an underhand serve in paddle?
a lot of good players, a lot of top players use the underhand.
Really?
Yeah, especially on a warm
I didn't
day.
know
If
that.
your kick serve, if your kick serve bounces high, that can
'Cause
hurt
then
you.
they
So
can
you
play the
actually
screens
they're
up.
going for like an underhand topspin in
Like
paddle.
a pickleball
Yeah,
serve, yeah.
yeah, something like that. So yeah, it was interesting because it was now a tactic. So that's
You'd want to develop it this way, and then you'd want to have to the
under.
guy that can come
backhand
Right.
that way.
dude. We got that from our game.
I mean, that would take I feel like so much strength from, dude. That's hard to come that way. Like, I don't know, you can kind of cut through it, but from the baseline to do that, I feel like that would be difficult. But I don't know, someone would be able to.
I mean, dude, it's happening. You have some of those guys with good hands they do it. Yeah.
Think you could cut one that way from the baseline?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I mean, not me, but yeah, somebody.
Oh yeah. What we do in our games then when we do the spins.
Right.
I know, but you mean like in a regular point?
No, in our games with the kids when we do like
Yeah, when you do
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
ultimate,
guess.
ultimate dungeons or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have a great one of those.
Yeah. That's why you don't play that.
They always look at the other
Yeah.
line. Rars is doing this way. I'm like, oh, that ain't Rars' line.
No.
That would be interesting if that was something that people started to work in a little bit, though.
Yeah. I think it's coming, man. Because again, you have something like Medvedev. If that guy stays that so far back, he's gonna get everything back if you do that. So those guys start making adjustments now. Alcaraz obviously show everybody what to do a lot with like wide serve and volley. The Djokovic was doing a lot, so
Correct.
serving wide and then it cuts all the angles.
Right.
And then and Zverev applied that a little bit. Obviously, the +1 is now your drop shot.
It is amazing that it works, that he makes it work so well. Because to me, it seems like,
Yeah.
okay, so you can get maybe more returns back, but it just seems like you'd be hung out to dry so much of the time. But he pulls it off
Yeah. So they did
pretty
this.
effectively.
They did this when they were talking. Like, people asking the same question you're asking. And that's in 21 when he won the U.S. Open. His average clear, like surface clearing. So whether it was returning 25 feet back or so. After the return, his average was 20 feet movement from the return spot on the next shot. So that's how he was able to do it. So by the next shot, he was a couple of feet on top of the baseline, if not right on it. So it doesn't give you, if you think about it, if you cut that piece off, it doesn't give you that much time if you're the next player, unless you are doing a serve and volley that you can,
Right.
or you maximize the movement by hitting a drop shot.
I know, aren't you working so much harder at
That's
that
what I-
thing?
yeah.
Like,
Well,
as the
that's- yeah,
returner,
yeah.
like your return games are taxing.
Of course they are.
After every return, no matter what, you are not only getting back in a position, you are sprinting to gain your position
Every
up
time.
on the baseline
Yeah.
every single
So
time.
it takes an athlete to do that. It takes someone who's willing to do that. And I don't want to say it's one-dimensional because it's not, but people will find an answer to that one.
Right.
Right. And they already start. Well, not everybody, obviously, but that's it's taxing. But you have somebody like that guy. I mean, I think you need to also be a certain speed, a certain height
To do that.
to do that. Your strides need to be big to be able to
Big,
cover
yeah,
20
to
feet in
cover
4 or 5
20
steps.
feet.
Right.
So he's 6'6". He can
Probably
do
does
that.
it in less than 4 or 5
Maybe,
steps,
maybe,
right?
maybe. So, but that's good for him to be able to like. No,
Dude,
I'm
man,
not.
that guy disappears when he's returning. He
It does.
disappears under the
Yeah.
wall. You can't even see him.
Yeah.
It looks like they're serving a nobody.
Yeah.
You know?
And then he just shows exactly.
He's
Yeah.
gone. Unless
What-
you see a ball come back and like, I guess he made the return there. you
I
know?
wonder what his like where does he rank in returning on the tour? Like
Oh, he's
they
up
got to
there.
have stats for that, right?
I think he's
what-
number 3 at this point.
Is he?
He's number 3 in rankings, rightfully so.
Alcaraz, Nadal,
Djokovic.
No,
oh, you
or sorry, Djokovic,
Djokovic.
Alcaraz.
Alcaraz this year? I would
Yeah.
think so. I mean, those guys are like so far ahead of the field right now. The
Right.
field is in this transition that I think it's gonna take a few years. I mean, if you looked at, you had people that reached top 10. They're like, what?
Yeah.
You have top 3.
Tiafoe's in the top 10. Right?
Yeah, you have
It's like-
you have Rude that got
Right.
to 3 or
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
Rune was 4, 5. It's like so. The true, I think the true 4 now is Sinner.
Sinner.
I think he'll finish 4 this year. Yeah, Sinner's he's been the 4th best player this year. I mean, he battles all those guys. So you have Djokovic, Alcaraz, Medvedev. I think Sinner's 4, and then you have Rublev is consistently in the quarters of a Grand Slam. Then you have right now you don't have a clear 5 through 10. It's in flux now. But yeah, anyways, back to Medvedev. He made it work, man. And he made it work. He beat Alcaraz at the US Open in that match. And he covered that. And the other thing that I thought he added there was some unbelievable passing shots from that far back.
Yeah, on the serve and volley. Oh,
yeah. So many.
That's such a
Do you think
long
that
way
gives
to have
him-
to hit a ball.
Do you
Like,
think it gives him more room to play with like the spin coming in?
Angles? It could, I'm sure. I mean, there was some shots that he made there that was
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, what more room for angles? But you're
Yeah.
you
You give him so much more time, yeah.
Yeah, you're so far from the net.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I mean, I do know he makes it work.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Here's another thought. I was talking about Sinner, actually. And I've been saying this for a while, that the guy's got skills, mind, everything. I feel like he needs another 15 or 20 pounds on him. It's skinny, right? So that made me think a little bit about, I'm curious, I never heard the stat, but what is the weight of a Grand Slam winner? What is like your minimum weight there? And here's why, because you have Sinner that does so good, skinny, very, very tiny guy, does so well in those 1,000 tournaments, those shorter tournaments, there's like 5 matches or 4. He does so good because it's 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3 sets, right?
Now you have a Grand Slam, the 7 matches, 3 out of 5. You need a unit. You
think
need
he's
a
burning
body.
that many calories, like
You need a body
Yeah.
just burning that
that
much
needs
fuel.
to be withstanding that for like 7 matches. So it made me look back. There's not name one skinny Grand Slam like truly
Was
skinny.
Fed? What? How big is Fed?
Oh,
Fed was
no,
like
he's-
180 once.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's like
pretty
my-
jacked
We're talking
up.
between like I don't think it was anybody under 165, 170. Because you need a big unit, man. You need a big body to be able to switch directions and move and run for 7 matches. You can play lights out in round 3, but those muscles, they're only this big, can only run that many miles, like tires. I'm not sure if I'm right, but it made me think.
What-
Like
you think,
Wawrinka.
you think if you're just lighter,
You might
Your-
have to look this up.
your muscles
I don't think there's a stat on that.
Google.
aren't as
No, not
strong.
not.
Quertin.
You said lighter.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a Grand Slam winner.
Oh, 3 Grand Slams, 3. Yeah.
Check his weight.
Yeah.
He's
165.
tall.
Yes,
he
he's
could,
there.
He could be the
He
How
could
do you
be one.
spell it?
Yeah.
Gustavo
Quert-
Quertin.
Well, when was he winning his Grand Slams? Late
2000.
90s?
Late 90s, 2000. Yeah. I think the last one was 2002.
Does he have a stat on weight?
I think this last he won
183.
183.
Oh,
Dude.
so he's still up there.
He's still up there, yeah,
183.
man.
Yeah.
That's, that guy was wiry. Do you think that's
Because he was
for
tall.
real?
He was tall.
He was tall,
Yeah, I
so
guess.
that
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You can be tall and skinny. I'm just saying, short and skinny or super skinny, you're not gonna win a Grand Slam. There's not name me one skinny guy. And you need to be 170 or more to win a Grand Slam.
So
175.
what is Skinner? Did you look up his weight?
Yeah, it's not Skinner, the Sinner.
Sinner. Sorry. No slight on Skinner.
Yeah, so he's tiny,
But he's tall, right? Is he that same height? What is it, Dolphy?
he is 6'2", yeah, but he's super skinny. He's there, but again, it's not.
He's
Think about it.
6'2". Hold on.
Sinner, yeah, 6'2". I would say you can't trust those things because they probably have him like 165.
168.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
thin.
Yeah,
168.
like Nadal, muscles.
6'2", 168.
That's thin for that body frame.
Oh,
Yeah,
You're right. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a tiny machine that's
Yeah.
trying
You know,
to
you
cover a
just
lot of
break
miles.
down easier.
yeah. He just doesn't have as much energy as everybody
Your
else,
recovery
right?
process is it's a tiny muscle.
Yeah.
I mean, you can only fire that much on a longer. I don't know. It's a thought, but yeah.
It's a good one.
I don't know.
That's something to think about, maybe, because you always talk of height. Oh, 6'5", the tallest. How about weight?
Right.
Weight is just as important. It's a physical sport. Boxing weight is not
Huge,
not
yeah.
height.
Want to look up another one, Dolphy?
All right, Dolph is. We should have brought the.
Michael Chang.
He was short, but he was
He was
had
solid.
thick,
He was
thick
solid.
legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say he was like 175.
So proportionate to his height.
that's a
Yeah.
good one.
Well, that's
Little,
what I'm
little,
saying. I know you
little,
said
but like,
little,
but he was
talking
he was-
87. We're talking like 35 years ago.
yeah.
Yeah.
If we need to go 35 years to hit 165,
But he wasn't like, I wouldn't call him slight.
Yeah.
No.
Even though he was little, he had
Yeah.
thick parts. Yeah, exactly.
But I wonder what it was. And he only got one. So the other one that could have been was Korea,
Ooh, Korea, yeah.
but he lost in the
Grand
final to
Slam?
Gaudio. No, he lost in the final. He was up 2-love to Gaston Gaudio.
Gaston.
Oh,
We talked about that
Yeah,
a
yeah.
while ago. Yeah. So that he would have been the frailest one, but
5'9", 185.
180s.
There you go. I'm telling you, man. Del
and it's
Potro.
funny. He's even, dude. He was
Nice.
6. I mean, about 6 feet.
Yeah.
Like, I think of him as like tiny.
Yeah.
Because he looked tiny, but he's not. He's not. I mean, that's not tiny. You know.
Would you say 5'9"?
5'9", 185.
I don't think he's 5'9". By the way, he was at the club a few years ago, and I don't think I looked up at him.
5'9", 185.
5'9"?
I think they.
Yeah, there's
Dude,
sometimes.
those. I mean, what are these stats?
You think they're off by 3 inches? How tall are you?
6.
No. I think that might be right.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't remember. I remember him being short, but again, shorter, not short. He's solid, so maybe that made him a little bit. But
Right.
Sampras is 6'1", right? So you everybody talks height, but the weight is big, man.
Yeah.
Del Potro was a big guy. Wawrinka was a big guy. Djokovic is a big guy. Team is a solid
Yeah,
guy.
solid.
Fallen muscle.
Yeah.
There's not one Cilic big guy. All of those guys. Ivan Isavic. Think about it. Sampras. There's not one skinny guy. So Sinner's got to put another 15 pounds if he wants a Grand Slam.
So I don't think of Sampras as being that big.
I think Sampras was in the 180s.
I mean, he was tall, but like he was. I feel like I would consider
Oh,
him more on like the thinner side, and he wasn't that like.
He was solid.
He was
wasn't
solid.
Was
Up,
he?
he was solid up here.
Yeah, he was. I thought he was
And
thick
most,
upper
most
body,
players
right?
aren't that like big muscular.
I guess he also he wasn't grinding out points either, so
Oh,
maybe
no.
it like doesn't make a maybe that.
Yeah, I think he was in the 180, 175, 180. I think that's the 175 there. That seems to be. He can easily do that. I don't know. Just
Yeah, it's interesting. I never really even.
and you know another thing that was do you remember tournaments growing up? Do you remember how the seating? I'm not sure if the USDA seating is or like whatever they follow, the ITF. And I'm bringing this up with like the quarters, and those guys talked about it too. The quarters in the Grand Slam, right? You have the seeds, 1 through 8, then 9 through 16, and so forth,
Yeah.
right? With us growing up was always the rule of 5, 9, 17, 33. So, and that's the way I'm doing tournaments now. So the rule of 5 is in seeding that in the semis, their seeding should add up to 5. So 1 meets 4, 2 meets 3, right? Rule of 9 in the quarters, they should add up to 9. 1 meets 8, 2 meets 7, 6, 3, 5, 4. So now you play, right, in that bracket, the highest seed against the lowest is a part of your ranking. But right now, 5 through 8 is random.
Yeah.
So you can have 1 play 5 in the
It
quarters
is.
and 4 play 8. That's an unbalanced quarter there. So that's, you know
Who
what?
does that? Every,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the tournaments.
They don't balance it.
including Wimbledon? I know Wimbledon's on their own.
They do random. Yeah. How they do their seeding is different. Who
I mean, isn't
gets
that
who
part
gets
of
their
the advantage
seeding?
of being
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
seated up higher?
So
is
if you
get
think
to
about
play
it,
the
if you think
lower-
about it, if you're the 1 seed,
right?
you get the privilege of being.
You could still play the 5 player, is what you're saying.
Yeah, well, but I'm saying like it gives you the privilege of not playing the second best player until the final. That's a big privilege,
Correct.
Right.
right? So you're just not gonna see
But in the semis,
in the
you should still have.
Why don't you have the same? Like, why would
Yeah.
I need like in this? How about from 5 to 8, right?
It's because
So-
they go random. off of that, right? The ones
Yeah.
and twos are separate.
3 and 4 is random, which
Threes
even that
are-
one to
threes
me
and
is like,
fours are
well,
random.
why
What do
would
you mean
two?
3 and 4 are random?
3 and
They
4
just
is
put
random.
3
them
and
on
4 is
opposite
random,
sides.
yeah. So the one could be playing the 3.
Yeah, and 2 can play 4.
It's just the ones and twos are opposite.
Why
It's
do
the
they?
only-
I didn't
Those are
know
the
that.
only one.
It's the only ones. I know. When did they change that?
I don't
Or has
know.
it always been like that?
That's what I'm asking, because the way I grew up in Europe, there was always this rule: 5, 9,
No, yeah, I
17,
understand that.
33.
That's typically what most sports do, like the Final
Yeah.
Four.
NCAA tournament. That's
It's
what
just
it
a
is,
straight-
yeah.
I thought
Straight.
every draw does it like that.
No,
actually.
tennis tournaments are different. I've seen it like that.
Oh yeah, that they were talking about, because
random.
you had
Just randomly do them opposite.
you had who was yeah, one of those big matchups, because you yeah.
So
was-
one.
So 3 was Medvedev. So they
Yeah, you just that bracket. You could just see the way Alcaraz had a harder
Yeah.
draw than Djokovic did as a 2.
Yeah. So Alcaraz could have, as a 1, he could have seen 6, which was Sinner, which he could have seen 8, which is somebody else. 2 and 4, Ruud and Djokovic were in the same half. 1 and 3, Medvedev and Alcaraz.
Correct.
So one
The 1 and 3.
one should play
See how
4.
unbalanced that is?
Right.
Yeah, that's
Right.
unbalanced.
2 should play
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
The semis,
What about
Should've-
the first round? Does one play 64 or whatever it is? You know what I'm?
no.
No, they.
Those are
That's all
random.
random, right?
Yeah, because you have 32 seeds. And again, that will be like one should see 32 in the round
Should.
of 32.
Round
Yeah.
of 32, yeah.
They don't do it like that.
But
So
other
one-
than
one could
that,
s- one
it's
could see
random. They can see the one could see
17 in the round of.
right.
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, I don't know. I think that's a bit of a, that should be,
What's the reasoning? Do you know or no?
I don't know. I think they
I don't
just
know
just
either.
to keep the randomness of it, but you're not, because you put 1 and 2 on different sides.
Right.
Correct.
So then why not give people, look, they're top 10 in the world, top 20 in the world, top 32. Give them the privilege of
Yeah,
just
why bother seeding?
Yeah, well, exactly. Because what if dude, if I know I'm 8, I'm like, you know what? It's only gonna go up from here in this drawing, because I don't need to play. I might need to play 1. I'm hoping I could play
Right.
4, and that's an option.
Correct.
There's got to be. I mean, there's got to be a reason.
I think the reason is randomness.
Oof.
Yeah, but seeding should count. Counts in every other sport, isn't it?
Does.
Like to
Well, it
the math.
yeah,
not-
it does.
well,
There's
and
not
also
as-
give you an advantage. That's part of
Yeah.
the advantage that comes with being
Yeah.
a higher seed.
It's almost like what, Dolph, you'll probably know exactly. What is the sport that reseeds after every round? Hockey?
Hockey reseeds. Yeah.
They reseed. So if there's an upset,
Yeah.
the one
reseed.
seed
He
still
gets
plays the
worst
lowest
team,
seed,
whatever
Yeah.
it is.
which
There you go. Goes with
makes
this.
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
they reseed every round.
Yeah, look, you worked hard the whole season. Like
Yeah.
you earn.
You
Right.
earn the right to always play the lowest
Yeah.
seed
Right.
as the one.
Yeah, because it would have been different. I think it would be a different tournament with Medvedev, Djokovic in the semis,
Correct.
and Alcaraz and who was Shelton. I'm not sure it would have made it or not, but doesn't matter. So
Because he went up
change
that
well,
way.
Shelton came out of that
That-
quarter
that-
where
yeah,
it was
the
like
quarter.
nobody,
Correct.
not nobody.
Yeah, so
but all-
Alcaraz got the
You got a
the
harder-
short side there,
Correct.
right?
He
'Cause
did. Yeah.
he got Medvedev instead of Shelton.
somebody
Right?
else. Yeah. So Medvedev would have been in the semis. Yeah. Want to go back to some of those guys' evolution again of how tennis evolves, and we talked last time about having so many like stars and whatever. What do you think about this, like the game being so popular and money into it and so forth? Some of those guys, before they get too much, right, too many good results or Grand Slams, they get all those massive, massive paychecks from sponsorship. And now, is that diminished the hunger for success when you know, they all sign up with Rolexes and all that? It's just, they get all that money. Is that kind of take away a little bit from, or you need to be a special guy like an Alcaraz to be like, I
No,
don't care about all that.
Mm.
I mean, it helps probably. Like you're more comfortable, but
But all those guys
you're
have
still. I mean, if you're an athlete, aren't you kind of results driven? Aren't you
yeah, but-
playing to be the best that you can be, not necessarily like I'm getting paid, or you think once you get enough money, you're
That's
like,
what
you
I'm
want to
saying.
know
I
what? This gig ain't bad.
Yeah. What if
Maybe.
you're 18, somebody's giving you $10 million to, be with them for the next 5-6 years? You
Yeah.
got that money.
I'd
Right.
quit forever.
Right?
would.
Are you going to work out at 6 a.m. or whatever it is?
No,
like,
no,
that's-
I get $10 million. What am I gonna do?
Yeah. But
I guess.
do you know, like, so I'm saying it's diminished, it's not gone.
Yeah.
Correct. I don't know how you can police that, because
No, you can't, because the game changed. That's it. You need to be special. That's what I'm saying. To be like, I don't care. And Alcaraz has that humility of him. They're like, I don't care about that. It's great, but I don't.
correct, but I think that goes on the sponsors. That's where they have to do their due diligence. Oh, I'm going to sponsor that guy because I like him and he's popular, and then he craps the bed. If you look at these guys, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I know they're not elite, but the ones that get the bigger
Yeah.
sponsorships, they're good. That's why they get it, and they do their due
Yeah, but
diligence
how many
with
of them?
it. It's like,
how many of them drop? That's what I'm saying. How many they could like be like, yeah, I got my nut.
I think
I'm
that's
good. I think Dimitrov was the first one. That
And where was his sponsorship
yeah, what
from?
he
Do
got
you
signed
know?
everything, dude. He
Was
was
it-
baby fed when he was 16.
What was it? Was it so Nike?
Nike, Wilson, you name it. Everything that was.
And what
Like
is he
big-
now?
I think it's still there with them, but I'm saying that guy had the potential of being like multiple
Oh,
Grand
he
Slam winner.
did. So you
that
so
good talent.
so you're saying you think because he got that money that
I think he was the first
that's,
one that
that
was
sent him down on a downward spiral.
or not
Wow.
allowed to fulfill his.
Losing the fire.
He loses the fire a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I that's my opinion, but I think that has something to do with it, man. I mean, you're young, you don't know
Right.
when you have all that money. Like
That's
Kev
true.
said, "We'll quit tomorrow," and his
I would.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, that money, I mean, it is true. You're like, there's all these distractions. There'd be all this other
It
stuff
could be.
that you could end up.
I'm just playing devil's advocate on that too. Is like on the other end, some of these sponsors want to get that person before anybody else does.
of course,
So
No,
they
it's
they
no-
take the risk.
yeah, it's a
on
money
that.
game.
It's a money game.
It's a
that's
money
that's
game.
the biggest thing. It's like, oh yeah, I want to make sure I sponsor you because I feel you can shoot up.
Yeah,
And then the other guy that says, yeah, I have no faith in Kevin, and all of a sudden, shit, I should have sponsored.
yeah, you're looking for that
guy.
good payday. Looking for that New Balance move when
Correct.
Coco won the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
I'm sure they
instead of waiting.
absolutely,
It's a gamble. It's a risk.
yeah.
But that's what these guys are doing, and hopefully they do their due diligence
No,
and really
I'm-
understand that.
The
Oh, I know,
sponsor
I
end,
know,
because
yeah.
that's again is the game.
Correct.
They're looking at
Yeah,
sales,
they're just looking at
sales
the
dude.
money.
Yeah, of course, and they say $10 million, but here's what we want you to come to this
Yep.
gala. We want you to come to this photo shoot. You're gonna say this. You're gonna wear that, and all of a sudden there's some restrictions on your time.
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah.
There's some obligations that you don't want to do, and that takes away your freedom.
Right.
That takes away your drive. Takes away your happiness. So now you're a little bit. And if you have 10 of those sponsors.
Right.
And you have to now ATP makes them obviously do all sorts of interviews and so forth, but and that's ATP because you can be ATP or WTA, your sponsor. You need to make 5 appearances a year here. You need to do 6 commercials for us, whatever they have there. So now that's time.
It'd be tough to turn that down.
Of course.
I'd have
No,
I'd have a lot of patches on my shirt. Be like, guys, a lot of different things sewn on.
It's like those guys, right? Did you see the? do you recognize those things when you have look at any Grand Slam for the first couple of rounds? You always have the guys that play, the top guys, have a bunch of patches on.
They get new ones, yeah.
They get new ones that
Just
day,
for that match.
Yeah.
just for
Yeah.
that match. They call them.
Yeah.
Right, the sponsors call them. They find out who's playing.
Oh,
on the
you're
center
playing
court.
Alcaraz?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
you could make a career like that.
Yeah.
And everyone I'd have a Velcro shirt. I'd be like, get it on, dude. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Give me the patch. I'll stick it on.
But
You know?
you see so many patches on
Right.
them, and that's good for them.
Well,
Good for them,
those
too.
guys
That's
are
a
hustling.
payday.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
a payday.
Like, how much you? Sure, I'll wear
Yeah,
whatever you want me to wear there.
right. No questions asked. Velcro shirt. Send me the patch. It'll be on there.
Yeah.
I wonder what type of payday that. I guess it doesn't matter. I mean, any money is money, but I mean,
I'm sure they'll get a few thousand, man.
Ooh, I bet it's more than that.
Yeah,
You
I don't know, but you have 5 of those.
For one match?
Yeah.
I mean,
Wear this patch, I'll give you $1,000. Put it on your forehead.
Yeah, it would. I'd tattoo it.
Exactly.
Tattoo it for the right amount of money. I'd be like, whatever. I don't care.
Easy $1,000.
Yeah.
yeah, it's again, it's becoming such a commercial game too. So that was a thought of mine because you see a lot of those guys did. Like, man, you think this guy's gonna be it, and then.
But there's also
they get their Rolex and they get their.
there's not that many sports you can do it in. Like right? Tennis is one, golf is one,
That's a
right?
good point,
It's like
yeah.
baseball, you can't put a patch on your
Oh,
jersey.
right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Or basketball, they're not putting a patch on their jersey. The team's getting whatever
team's
they
got it.
put.
It's
You
not
No,
the
know?
in fact,
individual.
occasionally I feel like in basketball,
That's
you
a
hear
very
guys want
good
to wear
point.
certain
Yeah.
sneakers and they get fined for
Mm,
doing it. There's like
yeah.
certain-
Yeah, they're not
But-
allowed
Be
to.
like,
but
you
say,
can't-
but that's what it. But I guess these companies want to capitalize on the sports that
Exposure.
they can actually do,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Like you, even if they walk in with your brand, whatever. Well, no, you get a full 2.5 hours of this guy with his patch on that he's every point you
Yeah,
see him
check.
in.
right.
You know,
what the numbers are
Yeah.
on the viewers.
yeah,
and
right.
That's a good point. Yeah, I was talking more
It's
like
kind of weird though because that guy, I guess it's just to get the name out there. But I'm like, who's this loser with our wearing our patch?
Yeah.
Guy's getting knocked around out there, getting beat. Honestly, it's like I guess you just want your name out there that bad. You don't even,
I guess.
care.
Yeah, it's exposure, man. It's like how you brainwash to read to see that name. Like I saw that somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Like Gunoid, that
Right.
you see it on a bunch of those, and so it's a big battle there for exposure for name, and that's prime time then.
Right.
What are you gonna get like whatever viewers U.S. Open had in the
Right.
right.
opening night,
Right.
and you play there and like, sure. Like you said, put the Velcro on me and I'm all yours.
But it's funny how some of the companies say, like Nike, I don't think you can patch anything on their clothes, can you?
Yeah, I
What do you
wonder
mean
how
if
that
you're
works.
wearing Nike,
Well,
they
Yeah,
only
like
want
I
you to
think
be-
a lot of like
It could be exclusive.
yeah, I
when
think
you- when you
I
get
think
signed by them.
sometimes when you
sure.
sign, it's like exclusive only. Like you're wearing Nike, and it's
Just
just
some
a
of those
swoosh.
guys, though, probably not. I mean, how
They
many
probably-
people
Yeah, there's
they
tiers.
use-
Yeah.
yeah. And Nike's probably not going after some of those guys. So you're
Yeah, it's whatever you're in with, how much money they give you. They're like,
Yeah.
we'll give you $1 million. You can't have anyone put on
Right.
a shirt.
Right,
We'll give you 500,000. You can add 5 patches.
right, yeah,
Yeah.
There probably are. It's all in the.
As long as
or
one
maybe
of our
you're not
partners.
even. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it could be completely different, but yeah.
Not me, baby. Pop secret patch. I don't know. Whatever it is.
Top secret. That's what you come up with?
Popcorn. Well, I don't know.
You love-
anybody.
Yeah, that
I'm
was
saying I wouldn't be
No.
judging. I wouldn't care if you're paying me. Honestly, what do I care? Unless it's your product is some, I don't know. I mean, it's just if it's not offending anyone, what do I care if I'm
Yeah.
wearing it while I'm out there?
Yeah.
If you pay me to wear it, I'm going to be a walking billboard. Absolutely. If it's a way to make a little extra money when you're out there hustling, I would take it any way I can
Yeah.
get it.
Well, again, those
Especially
guys
some of those guys, they might not get that many chances at
Right.
it. Like you're all of a
Yeah.
sudden you stumbled and you're at the U.S. Open and it's a match where you're playing a top name and you get a bunch of chances.
Dude, if you get another 20,000 from wearing that,
Oh, yeah.
Right.
that's
course.
another that's
That's
an
more
upgrade to
than they
payday.
made. Yeah, that's
Right.
Versus like your buddy that plays nobody is on the course 17 and he still might lose.
Right.
Not your buddy, but somebody like
Yeah.
within your ranking bracket there.
Right.
And like I said, those guys are. How can you not take 15 grand when you hustle and you're just happy you made it to the first
Yeah.
round of Grand Slam and like, you know what?
2 patches, 10 grand. I'd be like, I've lost my fire. I could have been great, but I got Pop Secret offered me $10,000 to wear their patch, and that was it.
Yeah, yeah. I see. Yeah, but all these guys been get the top guys get so much money. I wonder what it is right now from the sponsorship. It's if you look every top 10 player, because the sport is so much more global, and like we talked last week, they spread out the wealth on stars there on your big names. through whatever, all the social media and everything, the shows, which is good. So now you have all those guys and ladies have so many contracts, man. I mean,
I think it's so interesting when they switch, like Fed going from the last couple of years from Nike to Uniqlo, right? Like he was with them for so long. Well, how does Nike not retain him for the last 3-4 years? Or was it him? He probably branched out and had a lot more stake in that business, right? Or
do you know how much they give him?
Uniqlo? I'm sure.
It's life.
You think? Tell me.
I could
Give me a guess. Give me a guess.
600 million.
600 million. What do you think?
I can't even. I don't know if that's low or high. Honestly, I can't even.
No, he's doubling. I think what I've read,
300 million.
300 million for 10 years.
Yeah.
So when you are 35
for just wearing their stuff,
And he's not
For 10
even
years.
playing for it.
yeah,
that
and I
long.
think and I think his whole clause is like, look, I'm not sure how long I'm gonna play for.
Right.
I'll give you all I got.
Correct.
but they don't care if you're.
No.
He can still
He's
endorse.
he's an ambassador.
Yeah.
Right. Jeez.
300 million, dude. Like you said, sure. I'll
Right.
switch from Nike.
I mean, I
listen-
wonder what his deal with Nike was.
Yeah, I
Did
wonder
Nike,
what it
I
was.
mean,
I don't
wouldn't
100 million?
Nike be able to give him
They didn't want to.
that?
I don't think they want to,
I
man.
think the way.
They probably got Alcaraz
Well,
and
yeah,
was like, all right.
yeah. Think about Uniqlo.
Well,
take
I
the
guess
next
if the
bet,
problem
right?
with that is if Nike does that and they're in all these sports doing that,
Correct.
now all of a sudden someone's like, wait, Fed got how much? Now everyone, now
Yeah.
before you
Yeah.
know it, you're paying
Right.
Yeah.
like guys like I need $1 billion to wear the swoosh.
All right, so you want to know something about $1 billion? Switching a little bit. You know how the Saudis are trying to bring
Mm-hmm.
all sports, and
Yeah.
they offer Mbappe, which is
Yeah, typical play in Saudi.
Saudi Arabia, $1 billion.
Yeah.
He said no.
Didn't they get Ronaldo?
Yeah,
They got
Isn't
a couple.
Ronaldo playing down there?
I think Neymar too.
Mbappe,
Neymar's there too.
Mbappe, and $1 billion. He plays for
That's
soccer player.
Paris Saint-Germain, so PSG. And
Wait, $1 billion?
Yes.
billion.
Signing
For-
bonus.
And
Signing-
to play for like this no name, like this team that's not in the Premier League, nothing, just
Correct.
their own league in Saudi Arabia.
And he said no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
That's a tough number.
Yeah.
That's a tough number to turn down.
It's a B.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You could come at me with so many things. Come again? Let me see your lips. Say it again. Billion? Oof. What? I mean, I don't know. Maybe how much money does that guy have? Maybe at some point, once you get enough, you're like, at some point, how much do you need?
Yeah.
You're like, what's the difference?
Right.
Although $1 billion, now you're
Yeah.
really in the game. You're like,
Yeah,
I
you're in
don't
the B game.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so 1 million he declined, but they got a lot of people. Like same thing they did with golf. They tried to do it with soccer. They tried it with tennis. So they try to bring.
I heard they were in on tennis.
They're
big,
still
or
trying
they're
to
still
get
in
into
on it,
tennis.
right?
Yeah, they're trying to get
They
into
are.
tennis to move it, to buy it. They try to make something with ATP. I'm not sure exactly the details. So, but yeah, they're throwing a lot of money. So, at some point, you're only that strong, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, it doesn't hurt anybody.
Golf's already happened, I'm pretty sure. Like they merged the biggest league in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, they merged, but I'm not set that that's gonna stay.
Oh, you talking to Pete?
The PIF.
PIF with PGA Tour, yeah.
There was a lot of money there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At some point, like, all right, so you don't want to just chase money. If you just chase money, you're kind of an asshole. But at some point, if you get offered a certain amount, are you kind of an ass? Like, what's your reason for turning down $1 billion?
Yeah.
Well, he's going to play
Well,
in this no-name
correct.
league. It's
And-
like
And Rars, how
I'll give you $1 billion reasons to fucking do it, dude. Give me a break.
but
Are you kidding me?
how much is he making now?
I don't know.
He's got to be
not
making
$1 billion.
Not a billion.
To tell you the truth, I don't even really understand what $1 billion is. That seems like a play number. That, like, no, you don't make that.
That's in Monopoly.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like stars. Are there 1 billion stars or something like that? I have no idea. Who the fuck knows? What are we talking about? They're giving you that much money and you're going to say no because you don't want to go play for that team? You don't like that
No,
team?
well, it's also the people he's playing for.
Correct. There's a lot.
There's a
different
lot of
factors
yeah.
into it.
They're not
He-
great.
he
All in all, they're not great people.
He could have the
is
moral.
what they
he
were.
Could have the, he could
Yeah.
have the
All of a sudden
moral
it comes back
stance.
to this. You guys are all over me earlier in it. It circles back.
I don't know what they would do if they've been offered $1 billion to go teaching.
I'd be like, I need $1.5 billion. Give me a break. What are we doing?
I know. Yeah,
he's probably just. I mean, how long has he been playing?
He's in a prime. He's number one now in the world. He's
so he already has millions.
He's making a lot of money already.
Maybe honestly, at some point, you might actually just be dude, I can't even spend all this money I already have. Now you're gonna give me a billion of this? Like I don't. Yeah. For what? For what? You know.
I mean, you can argue either way.
You can.
Yeah. Now to have that option, that would be nice.
Yeah.
to be able to think, yeah.
I know which way I'd go. I can tell you that much. Dude, $1 billion is a lot of money. I mean,
I like how you have to clarify. $1 billion.
Yeah, dude. That's not a number that gets tossed around.
No. Yeah.
No, but he's the best at the biggest sport in the world.
You're looking at it from our standpoint.
Right. Right. That's what I mean. Maybe.
That's a good point.
He's making $500 million.
Right.
What's another 500? And now I'm playing for these people.
And now I have to live in Saudi Arabia.
500.
Now I have to.
Seriously, like, okay, difference. You have $50 in the bank, and I want to offer you 100.
Would I take it?
Go run around naked out front.
150, I'll take it. When you're making
I'm doing an extreme, but that's what it is.
No, but also, even once you make that much, eventually you're like, that is a huge
It's a huge amount, and it's like, what? Yeah, why? So now they start thinking about, where do I live? Who am I playing for? How is this going to affect my family? How is this going to affect me?
My reputation.
My reputation. Yeah. That's why a lot of those golfers said no.
Yeah.
They turned, like, look at Phil now. Oh. Phil took a crap load of money, and he sucks. But he's got the money, but all these other people, Rory, Tiger.
They all hate him.
They all hate him. So now he's like a scapegoat. They don't want to talk to him on the PGA anymore. So his legacy now, he's almost wiped off of golf's history.
I mean, for $200 million, I think he's like,
yeah, he doesn't care. But he doesn't care. But
right,
I'm not sure what they gave him. I'm sure
but he's not okay. Now, like 10 years later, okay, who's the best golfers? He used to be. He won't even come up at all.
Do you think
his legacy's gone?
Do you think the ATP will break? Do you think the ATP will break and give in to them? And
I think they're going to offer it.
I think it's a battle now.
Crap ton of money. That is the.
I think they're the right sport. One of the right sports that they're going after, right? Because they have the majors that will still stay in place, and they take over the actual league of.
I don't even know the exact terms of what they're trying to do. I should actually read into it because deeper. But it's something like that. But now said ATP is considering a partnership with them to make it a tour of that. So I don't think they're gonna look to buy ATP.
No, I think they're just trying to
become.
They just have so much money. They're trying to. They call it sport washing, right? Yeah. And they're putting money into these sports. Yeah.
Right. But that's a big risk.
With golf, though, it tried to split, but now they've just merged.
It did split, and now
it's become.
We don't really know what's happening.
Merged,
yeah, we don't know yet.
It has to go through Congress.
Correct. I don't think it's going to happen.
What? Is this? Is really? Is going to go into?
It's not definite yet.
Because it's a deal. It's a United States, whatever. Correct. It's a deal that they're making on United States soil. So, and it's a big deal. So it has to go through Congress.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Oh, really?
Oh, they have a ton of congressional hearings and stuff about it. Yeah.
It's just going to.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So is it because it's the amount involved or like the parties involved?
I think it's the parties involved.
It's the parties.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Yeah,
they're the governing body of.
I know. I get
over
it.
this. It's different than business.
So PGA is US.
Yeah.
Right. ATP is not US. What's ATP? You know, I mean, it's an organization, but like, where was it based?
Oh, you're right. That
could be different, but that governing body could still.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
But
you're right. You're right. That's more of a
No, I'm not saying
international relations rather than
I don't know where that's good. But that's definitely interesting. But again, go back to $1 billion. I'll play a match. I'll play a season.
Yeah, I mean, I am morally strong. 1,000, I'm morally strong. million, I got it in the bag.
Morally strong for
A billion. I might look the other way on some stuff. $1 billion is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Erica would be so pleased if I was like, look,
We got $1 billion.
we get $1 billion. You know, do we have to move to Saudi Arabia?
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah. I'm getting you fitted for a burqa later on, but $1 billion. And, well, I mean, she would have to.
Yes.
I'm not-
No, you
yes,
do.
I mean,
You do. Yeah.
She'd get used to it. She's chilly all the time anyways. It's like she's always in a
Oh,
sauna.
my
So
God.
good. $1 billion, dude, forget about it. I would have a hard time saying no.
Oh,
And I know it's
a lot of
based on
people.
our skill, but like
Yeah.
I think even a lot of people that have a lot of money, that would be.
That's a lot. That's
I would
a
do
lot.
so much good with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Should we call it? We're good. Yeah.
We cover what we need to.
Yeah. Kev is gonna think about his $1 billion offer.
I'm not saying I would say no, but
You would absolutely say yes, dude. You're not in my considering. I'm considering that guy. You're right, because he's got so much money.
that's
It
what I
might be
mean. I'm
like-
just putting it in
There,
perspective.
there might be a point where
It's-
you are so set where
Which
where,
he would be
where-
one of them. He's
where-
the
He'd
biggest
be one
soccer
of them.
players
The
in the
people that
world,
are
where
getting
your
this
right?
money-
finances are no longer
They
a
already
worry,
have
even
the
for
money.
your kids.
Yeah.
Where you're like,
Correct.
well, if my financial situation is never a worry, you can't offer me anything
Correct.
that's gonna
That's
that's gonna make it.
that's my argument.
And he would
You
be
know.
one of those people.
Correct.
If it was
And the golfers.
obviously
Right. Some of
Dude,
those
he's
golfers
obviously
that
pretty
said
well
some of
taken
them,
care
some of them, but some
of
of
them did take it because
because they needed it.
they
yeah.
were fluttering.
Yeah.
They were like top 20, top
you can't
25.
blame 'em,
I
dude.
don't
No.
blame them for that.
That
That's why
just
it's kind
changed
of
their
douchey
life.
Of those other guys, because like those other guys,
Phil
they-
Mickelson didn't need the money.
Larry's a
Sorry.
little passionate about this.
I am passionate about
Maybe
that.
he-
guy.
He's
But-
different though.
but
He
it-
has had
it-
a vendetta against the PGA Tour
Yeah.
for a long time, but
He didn't need the money. That's why they look at him differently. The top players. All the younger guys, they don't care.
well, if they end up merging, won't he be like, "Fuck you guys"? That's what.
Yeah.
yeah, he looks like the smartest
He looks like the smartest guy.
Yeah.